Greetings and welcome to my humble abode on YouTube. Forgive me for using this computer-synthesized voice. If you are to ask me why I use this voice, it is because of the same reason that makes Batman wear his mask, to protect the people he cares most for. Okay, the second and more honest reason: it's cool. Well, the title says it all. The philosophy in Pocket Monster. What should I say? When I googled something like philosophy plus Pocket Monster, the number of results that popped up astounded me, and the depth people can actually go into exploring in that apparently childish anime stunned me. And so, here I am, making a video about the philosophy in Pocket Monster. However, since I'm still pretty young, I'm not going to tell you my actual age. Of course, I won't go into the depths others go into, because I cannot without the necessary experience in life. I'll stay at the surface and hopefully remain at an understandable level throughout this video. Now, let us begin. The Pocket Monster world as we know it is unrealistic and so different from the world we see daily that we deem it impossible. Yes, impossible under the state we humans are currently in. Personally, I believe the Pocket Monster world is one of the ideal utopian worlds that we can use as an example for our world's progress. Well, let us first examine the Pocket Monster world under the criteria set for the first utopia ever proposed. That is the first utopia proposed under the name Utopia. That is the utopia proposed by Sir Thomas More in 1516. Although many scholars believe it is a fictional world he created to criticize medieval England, I believe nevertheless it remains a good model for a utopia. Point 1. The kindness of people. Sir Thomas More stated that the utopians are benign in nature, and that when freedom to do whatever that delights them is given to them, they would not commit what we may call sins because their natures did not permit them to do so. Sins themselves do not bring them pleasure, and with their benign natures, sins even bring pain. The reason people outside commit sins so happily is because they deceive themselves into thinking the sensation they are feeling is joy. In the Pocket Monster world, the kindness of people cannot be more apparent. I still recall people giving me free stuff in 6 generations of Pocket Monster games, from the basic stuff like Pokeball to Pocket Monsters. Whatever those gifts are, I can tell you pretty certainly that those items are useful to me. Unlike our world, imagine what would happen if everyone starts doing that in our world. The economy would collapse for sure. I would attribute this to the different foundations these two worlds are built on. If I were to say the Pocket Monster world is built on selflessness, then our world is built on selfishness. Since the beginning, we humans are ego-centered creatures that care more for ourselves than anything else in the world. The reason we built society is to ensure we can survive, so we can benefit from each other from the relationship we call cooperation. In the Pocket Monster world, it is selfless contribution to ensure the future generation can always receive the best, to ensure they can grow into adults with a healthy body and mind. In their world, every single child can claim their starter Pocket Monster upon the age of 10 and set off on their journeys around the world. Along their ways, they can choose their own paths to battle gyms, take on Pocket Monster contests, or simply stay an ordinary person. There was such an infrastructure established for their growth, like the network of Pocket Monster centers where they can rest and recover their strength, that these children do not have to worry a thing besides how to carry on their journey. This is perhaps one of the things utopian society needs: complete selflessness. Point 2. Harmony with nature. Sir Thomas More did mention this as a minor point in his book Utopia, and in the Pocket Monster Worlds, this is obviously something everyone would notice. Pocket monsters themselves are what we call in our world wildlife animals and plants, but our perception of wildlife animals and plants is quite different from theirs. When we hear the term, we can probably think of a hairball of danger that will bite off our head at any chance, or something we should at least stay away from, or maybe a creature inferior to us. But in the Pocket Monster world, humans and pocket monsters are equals in every way. Pocket monsters are the friends of humans, held in the same position elves and dwarves are in fantasy stories. Animal rights are respected and upheld in a way that we will never see in our world, and even the plants are respected. Although frankly I must say I'm not quite sure if those plants can actually be called plants. After all, they can walk. Anyway, we can see equality in their world. You may see, it is because pocket monsters are sentient and quite similar to humans. Now let me ask you a question. Are you sure the animals and plants in our world are not sentient? When you stab the blade into the stomach of a tiger, are you sure it cannot feel pain? Are you sure it is not cursing you in a language we do not know? There is no scientist or philosopher in this world who would say animals and plants are not sentient, neither would any say they are, and that is because no one can be certain. So how can we be certain that animals and plants do not have feelings? And how can we be certain that our relationships with them must always be that of the master looking down at his slaves? Why can there be no harmony? Now to think of the way we live on this planet, we humans have done nothing to contribute to the world. In fact, we burn down forests, we ruin the habitats of animals, we slaughter animals so that we can fill up our stomachs. From the first day we come into being, we are destroying our environment. Now look at the Pocket Monster world. Humans not only live in harmony with pocket monsters, they aid pocket monsters. They help pocket monsters explore their own potentials. They protect endangered pocket monsters in organizations called Pocket Monster Rangers. And I wonder if anyone ever noticed, why are the Roots Ash and his friends took always have trees on both sides? Why do we see oceans of greenness whenever the anime comes up with an aerial shot of the whole place? Cities are built amidst trees, human civilization in harmony with nature. That is another thing perhaps we should consider as our society progresses. Of course, there are tons of utopian ideals hidden in the Pocket Monster world that we have yet to explore, and I'll leave that to you, my audience. For any other suggestion on the utopian ideals or utopian worlds, please feel free to leave a comment there, and, of course, do click subscribe if you want to. Not forcing you. Well, until my next video, which hopefully will come soon.